So today what I'm going to show you how to make is what we have used to replace the turkey for Thanksgiving. So this is our main Thanksgiving meal. And I got it from a book. And by the way, I'm using my daughter's Voldemort wand from Harry Potter. She doesn't let anyone touch it. She's at school now, so I can touch it. So we're going to use from this book here. But I could never go vegan. Right here. And it's an awesome book. It's a high-fat vegan book, but if you remove the oils and the nuts, then it's low-fat. And the recipe is the lentil-mushroom meatloaf with ketchup glaze. And I'm going to show you, that's what it looks like here. And I'm going to show you my modified version. I've modified the recipe, and I'm going to show you how I make it. And if you want to see how it's made in the book, I'll try and find a link for you. Okay. So of course the first ingredient you're going to need are the lentils. This is 2 cups of uncooked lentils that I cooked. I just put them in a pot, added water, and let them boil for 20 minutes. And it produces about 5 to 6 cups of lentils, cooked lentils. Then, and I'm going to put all the measurements below. I've got flax meal, I've got tomato paste, nutritional yeast, some oatmeal, organic rolled oats, mushrooms, onions, parsley, here, garlic, celery, carrots. And then for the herbs and the wet ingredients, I use sage, and it's about a teaspoon of sage here. And then I really like this seasoning. It's a salt-free seasoning, and it's got rosemary, oregano, sage, ginger, majoram, thyme, and pepper in it. So I use that, and I'm going to use a little bit. And then we've got the Worcester sauce here, a little bit of tamari or soy sauce, and water, and that's about it. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to add water to your flax meal, and this basically replaces the egg. So I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of water. And I'm just going to let it mix. And I'm going to let that sit until it's time to use it. So I've got a pan here. I've got it on high and no oil. We're just going to use a little bit of water. And the way I know the pan is ready is when it does that. So I'm going to add the garlic. And I'm going to add the onions. I'm going to let these cook for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to keep mixing it around, and for it not to stick, I'm just going to add a little bit of water and just keep mixing it. So now I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients here, my veggies. And just mix them around and cook them for about 10 minutes. So it's been cooking for about 5 minutes, and now I'm going to add my spices. So I've got my 1 teaspoon of sage, and then I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of this mixture, Bell's mixture. And I'm just going to mix it around and let it cook for another 5 minutes. Okay, so this is what your veggies should look like. They should be nice and soft. And you'll notice there's a little burned parts on the edges. Well, that can be taken care of with these little metal scrubbers. So it's no big deal. So now we're going to take this over to our food processor. Okay, now I'm going to add half of my oats. I'm going to add the nutritional yeast. I'm going to add the tomato paste. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the Worcester sauce. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the tamari or soy sauce if you don't have tamari. Now I'm going to add some of my lentils. not all, maybe about half. And we're going to process it. Now I'm going to add my parsley. And a few more of the lentils. And a little bit more of the oats. And then finally I'm going to add the rest of my oats. And the rest of the lentils. So I'm doing it in stages, as you can see. Okay. Now, of course, some at the top didn't really process, but that really doesn't matter. But this is the consistency that you want it to be. And so now we're going to put it in our dish. Okay, it wouldn't be a Nini video if I hadn't forgotten something. I forgot to add the flax, so I'm just going to add that. And then I'm just going to mix it. Okay, so now I'm going to put it in a baking dish. And I'm going to use just a regular baking dish. You don't even need a baking dish if you don't want to, because it's firm enough. It'll stay on a pan. But I'm going to do the baking dish. And because I don't want to grease my baking dish, I'm going to use parchment paper. And the way I do it, I'm going to show you, is I just push the parchment paper down, and then I just fold the corners up and over. And that seems to keep it in place. That way you don't have to grease anything. And when you're done with baking it, you can just pull the parchment paper out and you can cut your loaf. I'm just going to add my loaf to my baking dish. Okay, so now I'm just going to push it all in, push it all down. And the wonderful thing about this recipe is you can make this the day before and put it in your fridge and just stick it in the oven like an hour before dinner. It's that easy. And actually last year I made 2 of these, and I did one Thanksgiving and then I did the other one on the day after Thanksgiving for, you know, leftovers. But it's an inexpensive meal and it's just delicious. So that's how we're going to bake it. Now right now, because it's early, I'm actually going to cover it with saran wrap and put it in my fridge and let it marinate for a couple hours before I bake it. So we'll come back. Okay, so this has been in my refrigerator for about 3-4 hours. And I'm going to lay this over here, like so. Now this is totally optional. You can bake it like it is. But what I just love is I put a little bit of barbecue sauce on top. And I love this barbecue sauce. It's delicious and it's thick and it's just delicious. And so I'm just going to put a layer of barbecue sauce on top. And you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. And then we're going to put it in our oven and bake it for 30 minutes. And then I'm just going to keep applying barbecue sauce on top. Just kind of, we're basting the turkey. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes, and I only basted it 2 times. I didn't do any more. You could go heavier, and I have in the past, but now I'm just going to let it cool, and then I'm going to show you how I serve it. Okay, so to help it cool faster, and this is one of the pluses of using parchment paper, I'm just going to lift it out and put it on this cutting board and just slowly peel away the sides. So I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. Okay, so I peeled away the paper, and now I'm just going to cut it and put it on my dish over there. Okay, so I've cut it up into pieces, as you can see. And then today, it's not Thanksgiving, so we're just doing a little mock Thanksgiving. I have it with my mashed potatoes and gravy, and I made just a quick little cranberry sauce, and that's how we're going to enjoy it. Just delicious, healthy meal. Thanks for watching.